Hello everybody, welcome to Life is Chess. In today's video I shall present a game played by the 4th world champion, the great master of attack Alexander Alekhine against another good player Yefim Bogoljubov. This game was played in Hastings in the year 1922. Bogoljubov is white, Alekhine is black. We join action after 20th move by white. This game is an illustration of how to play with space advantage. Looking at this position, it is very clear that black has a distinct space advantage because of his advanced pawn on e4, which controls the square f3 and d3. Apart from that, white's advanced pawns, especially on h4, f4 and g3, has also weakened the king on g1. Therefore, black has some attacking chances on the king side. Black to play, Alekhine played knight e7. It seems black plans to shift his knight to the king side to attack white's weakened king position, but in reality black has a very subtle plan, that is to remove the b pawn by pushing a4, then exchanging the t and the c pawns, and finally placing the knight on d5. From d5 the knight can monitor all important squares in the center, especially the e3 weak pawn. So in order to prevent that, white played a4, stopping black's pawn advance. Whenever one has space advantage, it's easier for him to shift pieces from one side of the board to another. Alexander Alekhine immediately seized opportunity after a4. He saw the square b4 is vulnerable, it is weak. Therefore, he played the move knight to c6. He wants to enter b4 and d3. He wants to invade white's position via b4 square. White played the move rook to d2, after which black played knight to b4 and white went bishop to h1. It's a weird move, it's very surprising why white played bishop h1, but as we shall see in the next few moves, white will try to generate some counter attack by shifting his rook along the second rank and placing his knight on f2, from where it can guard the t3 square as well as prepare counter attack by playing g4. It is black Alekhine to play, and this is one of the very important moments of the game. Alexander Alekhine played a very surprising and instructive move, that is, he went back with his queen to e8, suddenly shifting his target from king side. The queen is now eyeing on the queen side. It targets the a4 pawn. It prepares b5 break after the eventual d takes c4. As I said, the side with space advantage can maneuver his pieces from one edge of the board to another faster than the opponent, and that is exactly why Alekhine shifts the focus from king side to queen side. His idea is to take dc4. White now continued with his plan rook g2 and black played dc4. If white plays queen c4, black would occupy the center with his knight, not only defending the c7 pawn but also keeping up pressure on e3, on c3. The other knight is likely to enter on d3. Besides, black also threatens to play b5, activating his bishop with the help of the queen on e8. So a very surprising move. Black suddenly changes track. In view of this, white played the move b takes c4. Black captured the a4 pawn. Black is one pawn up, but more importantly, black can continue his attack on the queen side by pushing his pawns and placing his knight in the center of the board. White played knight f2, defending. This move not only protects the d3 square but also prepares to push g4 with the help of rook and knight. Black's bishop dropped back to d7, defending against white's g4. White played knight d2, improves his position, and black lashed with b5. Black is one pawn up and he threatens to activate his bishop on d7 via a6 f1 diagonal. Now white played knight d1. This is another critical moment of the game. I would ask the viewers to pause the video for some time and guess black's move. Remember to watch this video till the end because we have a flurry of combinations coming from this point. Black played the move knight to d3, a very natural move, but this move sacrifices the pawn on a5. Black was one pawn up, he returns the pawn, but black has seen deeper. He pushes the pawn on b4, attacking the queen, attacking the rook on a5. Simultaneously, white has two defense. The first is he can play queen a1, defending the queen, defending the rook. In that case, black would exchange on a5 and occupy the a file with the queen. If white captures on c7, black would enter white's position and the pathetic coordination of the pieces show up. The knight on d1 is not defendable. If white captures on a8, black would still recapture with equal material. Black threatens to invade into white's position, and once again white's position is hopeless because of the passed pawn on b4 and active rook on the a file. Therefore, white decided to exchange the rooks before escaping with the queen. But he was in for a rude shock when black played a surprising move, that is pawn takes queen. White captured the queen, and now black, instead of recapturing the rook, decided to advance the pawn to c2, and despite being two rooks down after white's rook f8 king h7, white is in a hopeless situation. He cannot prevent black's promotion in the next move by either capturing the knight or simply pushing the pawn. White plays the move knight to f2 and black queens check, after which white had to play knight f1. And if we pause in this position, we shall find out that white has two rooks for a queen, but the hopeless position of the tangled pieces on the king side means that the queen is playing much better than the uncoordinated white's pieces. Black played knight e1, not only attacking the rook but also threatening a checkmate on f3. White played rook h2, black played queen to c4, not only taking the pawn but also threatening bishop b5 with the idea of attacking and checkmating on f1. The only way to defend from this position is by sacrificing the exchange by playing Rook b8, Bishop b5, remove the dangerous bishop by Rook b5, Queen b5, and now we have a position where black has a queen for a rook and bishop. White played the move g4 out of desperation. Black checked. After exchange of the bishop and knight, white played gf5. Black entered white's position queen e2. Now even the pawn on f3 is a very strong attacking unit. White played the move d5. In this position, white is running out of moves. Black can enter into white's position by knight e4 or knight g4 if the knight on f2 moves. Therefore, black simply waited for white to finish his moves, and after which white played the move e4. Well, if white played the most natural move, that is knight to g4, black would play knight takes g4, another very surprising move, and this is the second time we are witnessing black sacrificing a queen to promote his pawn. The pawn on e2 cannot be stopped. The next move black will be promoting and winning. Therefore, white cannot play knight g4. He played the move e4. Black captured the pawn, and even in this position, white doesn't have any useful move. He played the move f6. He kept on sacrificing pawns, and then he played the move rook d2. We have another very visual position. Black played queen e2, another sacrifice. The third time black is sacrificing a queen to promote his pawn. And this is a very unique position because all white's pieces, the rook is tied down to defense of queen g2 met. If white plays, for instance, rook to d6, black can checkmate queen g2. If white plays, removes his knight, the rook doesn't have defense, and if white moves the king, the knight doesn't have any defense. Therefore, white cannot move any piece. He has to accept the sacrifice the third time, and now after fe2, white plays king f2, ef1 check, king f1. We have an elementary win in king and pawn endgame. The concluding moves were played in inertia. After both sides centralized the king, black played d5 check. The standard procedure is to divert the king to the g file before black picks up both the pawns, and that was a brilliant performance by Alexander Alekhine. For more videos on chess instructions, keep watching Life is Chess.